Hello everyone. Today we are going to study what is the meaning of market structure. So what is a market? Market has been defined from a Latin word marketus, which means merchandise or trade. So market is a place where buyer and seller meet together for the exchange of title of goods. Market is a place where there are many buyers and sellers. They are actively engaged in buying and selling acts. So it does not mean a particular place, but the entire area where buyers and sellers of a commodity are in close contact and they have one price for the same commodity. So the definition of market has been divided into two categories. The first is geographical definition. It means that the place or region where buyers and sellers collect to fix the price and carry transaction. And the second one is functional definition. It means a market refers to buyers, sellers, intermediaries, and organizations which aims to bring these in contact of each other. But in economics, we're not at all concerned with the geographical market, but we are concerned with the functional market. So let's talk about one technical definition which has been given by Chapman. Chapman says the term market refers not necessarily to a place, but always to a commodity and the buyers and the sellers who are in direct competition with one another. So what are the features of the market? So market is an area and not a place. So market does not mean a particular place or locality. It means whole of the area over which buyers and sellers of a commodity are spread over and keep in close touch with each other. The second is a commodity. So the term market means market for the single commodity. There may be different market for different commodities. The next is buyers and sellers. So there must be both buyers and sellers in a market. However, the number of buyers and sellers may be large or small depending upon many factors. Then the next is free competition. There should be free competition in relation to the price determination of a product among buyers and sellers. The next is one price. So the price of a product is same in the market because of the free competition among the buyer and the sellers. Then what are the determinants of market? The first determinant is on the basis of characteristics of the commodity. So it depends upon the nature of the demand. So demand bear direct relationship with the extent of the market. More the demand, wider will be the market. Then the next is durability. So the market of durable commodities will be wider and the market of perishable commodity will be narrower. Then the next is sampling and grading. So if a commodity can be divided into different grades and can be sold through samples, its market will be wide. Then the next is nature of commodity. So to have a larger market, commodities must be durable and portable. Then the next is portability. Market for commodities that can be carried easily at minimum cost from one place to another will be wider, and market for commodities that cannot be carried so will be narrower. Then the next is number of substitutes. So more the number of substitute of an article, the narrower the demand of it and the extent of its market will become less, because when a certain article is not available in the market or its price is high, then people will purchase an article similar to that. Then the next is on the basis of internal conditions in the countries. First in this category is means of transport and communication. If the means of transport and communications are well developed in a country, the market will be wide. Then the next is the state policy. If the government imposes prohibitive duties and quotas, the size of the market would be narrow. The next is peace, security. So if there will be peace, security in the country, the market will be wide. Then what are the modern methods of trade? Like the extent of market will depend upon the modern methods of trade by using the method of propaganda, advertising, etc. Size of market expand. Then It also depends upon the stable currency and sound banking system. Like if the currency of a country is stable and banking system of a country is sound, market will be wide. Now, the basis of market classification or the types of market classification. The first is on the basis of area. We have local market, national market, and international market. Then we have on the basis of nature of transaction. On the basis of nature of transaction, we have spot market and future market. Then on the basis of volume of business, we have wholesale market and retail market. Then on the basis of commodities and service, we have commodity market and factor market. Then on the basis of time, we have very short period and long period market. Then on the basis of legality, we have open market and black market. And on the basis of nature of competition, the most important form of market classification is based on the nature of competition. That is the interaction between the buyer and the seller. So on the basis of nature of competition, we have perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. So it is also known as market structure. So structures are classified in the presence or absence of competition. When competition is absent, the market is said to be concentrated. Like we can see, less competition, the market are more concentrated. So here we have monopoly competition, and the spectrum is spreading around from oligopoly to monopolistic and perfect competition, where there is less concentration and more of competition. So the types of market structure: perfect competition, where there are many firms, freedom of entry, homogeneous product, and normal profits are earned. Then we have monopoly, that is one firm dominates the market, barriers to entry are there, possibly supernormal profits are there. Then we have oligopoly, and industry dominated by few firms, like 5 firms, concentration ratio of greater than 50%. And here we have interdependence of firms. Here we see collusive behavior, like firm seeks to form an agreement to increase prices. Then we have kink demand curve model, that is when prices are stable and firms compete on non-price competition. Then the next is monopolistic competition, that is freedom of entry and exit, but the firms have differentiated products. So likelihood of normal profit in the long term is there. Then we have a contestable market. So it is an industry with the freedom of entry and exit. Low sunk cost is there. So the theory of contestability suggests the number of firms is not so important, but the threat of competition is important. Then we have duopoly, when the 2 firms dominate the market. So like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, Android or Apple. So duopoly falls between a monopoly and a oligopoly. So contestable markets like ultra easy entry, ultra easy exit, zero sunk cost is there. So market structure based on competition, as I have told you earlier, like we have perfect competition and imperfect competition, and in imperfect competition we have monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly competition. Let's see the characteristics. So perfect competition, like in perfect competition, large number of buyers and sellers are selling the homogeneous product. So perfect competition is somewhat unreal. Perhaps agricultural commodities like wheat, gold, and other commodities like gold, silver are somewhat close to perfect competition. Then we have monopolistic competition, where there are large number of sellers, with the large number of buyers and sellers selling differentiated products, like we can see toothpaste industry like Colgate, Close-Up, Miswak, Babool introduce wide variety to differentiate their product, but the basic product is toothpaste. Then we have oligopoly competition, so few interdependent sellers and large number of buyers selling homogeneous and differentiated products like Coke, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. In Indian automobile industry, major players are Maruti, Hyundai, Toyota, Ford are some examples. Since we can count the number of players in the market, then we have OPEC countries, that is oil producing economic countries, that also forms a oligopoly competition. Then we have monopoly. So in monopoly, a single seller with no close substitute and a large number of buyers. We can see Indian Railways. So let us understand in detail about all the competition. The first competition is perfect competition. It is a market structure where the large number of sellers and buyers are there. Homogeneous products are sold and the price of product is determined by the industry. And once the price prevail in the market, all the firms sell product at the prevailing price, and it is also known as pure competition. The features are homogeneous product is sold, free entry and exit is there, perfect knowledge of price and technology is there, no transportation cost is there, no artificial restrictions are there, and there are large number of buyers and sellers. Then we have monopoly. So the words has been derived from the Greek word. Monos means single and poles means seller. So monopoly means existence of a single producer or seller who produces or sells a product with no close substitutes. Features of monopoly: the firm is itself an industry, it is a price maker, there are barriers to entry, and it has downward sloping demand curve, there are no close substitute, and it has full control over the supply. Then we have monopolistic competition. It refers to the market structure in which there are many sellers of differentiated products, and the entry into or exit from the industry is rather easy in the long run. So it is a midway between the perfect competition and monopoly, like toothpaste, soap. Then the features of monopolistic competition: there are a large number of buyers and sellers in the market, product differentiation is there, higher selling cost is there, imperfect knowledge, and there is freedom of entry and exit, and higher elasticity of demand is there. So comparison between the perfect competition and monopolistic competition on the basis of price determination. In perfect competition, it is determined on the basis of demand and supply condition. In monopolistic competition, it is determined by the dominant firm. On the basis of product standardization, in perfect competition, there is product standardization, whereas in monopolistic competition, there is no product standardization. Next, on the basis of selling cost, in perfect competition, sharing of selling cost is there, while in monopolistic competition, no sharing of selling cost is there. The next basis of difference is on the basis of average revenue and marginal revenue. So in perfect competition, average revenue is equal to marginal revenue, while in monopolistic competition, average revenue is greater than marginal revenue. Then the next is on the basis of slope of demand curve. In perfect competition, it is horizontal, and in monopolistic competition, it is downward curve. Then the next is on the basis of barriers to entry and exit. So in perfect competition, it is comparatively easy, while in monopolistic competition, it is difficult. So what is oligopoly? The word oligo is also derived from a Greek word which means few. Poly means to sell. So it is market dominated by few large firms. That is the competition among the few. So the features are: ease of entry is difficult. Competition is there, but the competition is amongst the few. Control over price is there, and they can sell same as well as the differentiated products. So definition of oligopoly. So oligopoly is a market structure in which there are few sellers of a product selling identical or differentiated products. So the market is dominated by a small number of sellers. Because there are few sellers, each oligopolistic is likely to be aware of the action of their competitors. So types of oligopoly: the first is pure oligopoly, and it occurs if the product is homogeneous, like we can see cement, steel. Then differentiated oligopoly occurs if the product is differentiated, like we can see in automobile industries. The features of oligopoly is few sellers who are interdependent on each other. Importance is given to advertising and selling cost. Group behavior is there. Indeterminate demand curve. Then we have aggressive and defensive marketing methods. Here we have both competition as well as combination of the sellers. Then it sells identical or differentiated products, and small number of large firms are there. So the comparison between all the four competitions like perfect competition, monopolistic, oligopoly, and monopoly we can see over here. So if I compare on the basis of sellers, so in perfect competition large number of sellers, and monopolistic fairly large number of sellers, in oligopoly few sellers are there, but while in monopoly only one seller is there. Then on the basis of number of buyers, in perfect competition, large number of buyers are there. In monopolistic competition, large number of buyers are there. In oligopoly also there are large number of buyers, and in monopoly also there are large number of buyers. Then on the basis of nature of product, in perfect competition, homogeneous product is there. In monopolistic competition, differentiated products is there. In oligopoly, both homogeneous and differentiated product is there. In monopoly, homogeneous product is there. Then on the basis of nature of competition, in perfect competition, perfect knowledge is there. In monopolistic competition, some knowledge is there. In oligopoly also some knowledge is there, and in monopoly also some knowledge is there. Then on the basis of nature of entry and exit, in perfect competition, free entry and exit. In monopolistic also free entry and exit. In oligopoly can be closed as well as free entry and exit, and in monopoly there is closed entry. Then on the basis of market power, in perfect competition, no power is there. In monopolistic competition, slight power is there. In oligopoly, significant power is there. And in monopoly, large power is there. Then on the basis of nature of influence on price, so in perfect competition, it is a price taker. In monopolistic competition, it is a price maker. Oligopoly is also a price maker, and monopoly is also a price maker. Then on the basis of selling cost, in perfect competition, selling cost does not exist. In monopolistic competition, it exists. In oligopoly also it exists, while in monopoly competition, selling cost does not exist. Then on the basis of slope of demand curve, in perfect competition, demand curve is perfectly elastic. In monopolistic competition, it is negatively sloped, but it is more elastic than monopoly. Then in oligopoly, kinked demand curve is there, and in monopoly, negatively sloped demand curve is there, but it is less elastic. Then differentiation on the basis of relationship between average revenue and marginal revenue. In perfect competition, average revenue is equal to marginal revenue. In monopolistic competition, average revenue is greater than marginal revenue, while in oligopoly, average revenue is greater than marginal revenue, and monopoly also average revenue is greater than marginal revenue. Then on the basis of nature of profit in the long run, in perfect competition, normal profit is earned. In monopolistic competition also normal profit is earned. In oligopoly, super normal profit is earned, and in monopoly also super normal profit is earned. So these were the basis of comparison. Now let us understand the concept of revenue. So what is revenue? It refers to the income obtained by firm through the sale of goods at different prices. So we have to study and we should know what is the meaning of total revenue, average revenue, and marginal revenue. So what is total revenue? That is the amount of the money realized by a firm on the sale of a commodity. Total revenue is equal to price multiplied by the quantity of the commodity sold. Then the average revenue is the revenue earned per unit of the output. That is, average revenue is equal to total revenue divided by the quantity of the commodity sold. And we know total revenue is price multiplied by the quantity. So quantity get cancelled out. So average revenue is also equal to the price of the commodity. And average revenue is named differently, like it is also known as demand curve, price curve, and it is also called demand curve since it indicates the quantity demanded by a buyer at different prices, and the average revenue curve because it indicates the average revenue or income of the firm. Then we have the concept of marginal revenue, which is defined as the rate of change of total revenue resulting from the sale of an additional unit of a commodity. So marginal revenue is equal to delta change in total revenue divided by the delta or small change in the quantity. That is delta means the rate of change, yeah, per unit, 1 unit change in the output. And we should also know the relationship between the marginal cost and the average cost. So we can see on y-axis cost is there, on x-axis output is there. So we can see the relationship that when average cost is falling, marginal cost is less than average cost. Then when average cost is rising, marginal cost is greater than average cost. And when average cost is constant, as at point E, we can see marginal cost is equal to average cost. And now marginal cost is always to the left of the average cost and cuts average cost from the lowest point. Now a demand curves of firm under different market forms. We can see on y-axis price is there, and we can see on x-axis output is there. First, let us study about the perfect competition. In perfect competition, perfectly elastic demand curve is there. That is, demand change, price remains the same. In the second case is of monopolistic competition. It is a more elastic demand curve as compared to monopoly. So more elastic demand curve means percentage change in the demand is more than the percentage change in the price. Means a slight change in price and there will be a high change in the quantity demanded. Higher. Then we have less elastic demand in the case of monopoly. It means percentage change in demand is less than the percentage change in the price because there is only one seller in the market. Now, the profit maximization of a firm, or what is the meaning of firm's equilibrium? So let us know the meaning of term equilibrium. So equilibrium means state of rest from which there is no net tendency to move. It means the firm equilibrium means the level of output where the firm is maximizing its profit and therefore has no tendency to change its output. So in this situation of firm's equilibrium, a firm has no tendency either to increase or decrease its level of output. So these are the important lines. So it means a firm has no tendency either to increase or to decrease the level of output. So the rules of profit maximization is common to all firms operating under different market structure. There are two ways of explaining how a firm reaches its equilibrium level of maximizing profit. The first approach is total revenue and total cost approach, and the second approach is marginal revenue and marginal cost approach. So in this video, we are going to study the second approach, that is the marginal revenue and marginal cost approach, and this approach is generally used and the most used approach. So the first approach, the marginal revenue and marginal cost approach has three rules that must be satisfied for the profits to be maximum. So the rule one is for short run. It means a firm should produce if and only if price or average revenue is greater than average variable cost, or total revenue is greater than the total variable, greater than or equal to total variable cost. Now the second rule, and it is also known as the necessary condition. So the necessary condition says marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost. So we can see in the graph over there, on y-axis cost and revenue is there, on x-axis quantity is there. So we see average revenue and marginal revenue is equal to, average revenue is equal to marginal revenue. This is the case of perfect competition, and we see that marginal cost is cutting the average cost, and the point at which the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue, this should be the this condition should be there. So the firm profit is maximum at a level of output where the revenue from the sale of an additional unit is equal to the cost of producing an additional unit. So we can see profit over here, that is total revenue minus total cost, that is ORAM minus ODAM, that is RAD will be the total profit. Then the next condition is the sufficient condition, and it is a very important condition, and it says marginal curve should cut marginal revenue from below. So marginal cost can cut marginal revenue line from above also and from below also. So if it cuts from above, it means that is the point R is a break-even point, and if it cuts from below, That is the K point. It is a point of equilibrium. So when we study about the profit maximization case, the sufficient condition says that marginal cost curve should cut the marginal curve from below. So this is an important point that should be taken into consideration. So it would be profitable for a firm to produce output up to OQ1 level of output. Output OQ1 is the profit maximization output, since the change in output in either direction would reduce the profit. Thus, OQ1 level of output indicates equilibrium point K, where marginal cost curve cuts the marginal revenue line from below. So if the firm produces an output more than OQ1, then each additional unit of output will add more to the cost than to the revenue, and therefore the profits will be reduced. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.